All right, let's do
So, I'm here with Darren Criss of A Very Potter musical and A Very Potter sequel. How are you?
it. All right, I'm cool. I'm very happy. I'm enjoying this awesome festival in my hometown, and I got to join my brother play, and there is this amazing band. So I'm very, very happy. This is like my stomping grounds. I grew up here, literally, in San Francisco Park, Golden Gate Park. So life is good.
So, how have you been liking Outside Lands? Was it?
It's cool because Outside Lands started it's like a 5-year-old festival. You know, it started when I went to college. So every time it started, I wasn't here. So it's great. I'm excited to see so many people out here, so many great bands, and it's just cool because I used to run here in the polo fields where it's like empty and there's no one here for miles, or at least there are. They just live in the trees. So it's cool to see all the tree dwellers out enjoying music. So yeah, it's awesome. I'm really, really, really enjoying Outside Lands. It's really a positive thing for the city, I think. So yeah.
So you went to Michigan for college, right?
I went to the University of Michigan.
So how did you end up there? If you were from here?
I really liked it a lot. I've grown up on the West Coast, and I could have easily stayed here. We have a great, we're very blessed with a very awesome University of California system, but I just kind of wanted to go check out the other side of the country. It's a big old country, and my father's from, we grew up in Detroit, and as soon as I visited Michigan, I loved it. This is not a Michigan plug, but it is a Michigan plug, because I love Michigan. I just really liked it. It was a good program, good school, very Americana, great tradition. I loved it a lot.
And you like winter?
Yeah, well, the thing about being from like a city like this is that, at least to me, winter and snow and stuff is like a novelty. And anytime it was really cold and I'd come home, it would always be, nicer here than it would be there. So I really never felt like this whole I hate Michigan. It was always like, snow, how delightful. What a good time to study by a fireside.
All right, so you started A Very Potter musical while you were in college, right?
Not me single-handedly,
yeah.
But yes, I was involved in it. We did that in college right before I graduated. It was my senior year, and me and my friends got together and did a silly show that we just did for fun and for our friends and for ourselves. And here I am 2 years later, and it's had an interesting life for itself.
Do you have any advice for people who are trying to start up something like that at their own school?
No, I don't actually, because everything that has happened because that show was an accident. Any kind of doors that have opened from that show or anything that has been really exciting for us, we fell ass backwards into. My advice would be just do what you like doing with your friends. And I don't want to say don't try, because you should always try to do things with your life, but what I mean is don't be hell-bent on making something for yourself. Just make something, and then, I don't let the cards fall where they may. That's kind of very botched advice, simply because I'm very, 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 very times infinity fortunate. Anything that's happened from that show was an accident. I wish I could say we were smart when we did. Well, we were kind of smart, but we were wise enough that we planned all of this, that we wanted to make this an opportunity. It was just for fun, and that's what it's always been about. And it's just about having fun with your friends and just doing what you love to do. And so my advice is just, stick to your friends, love what you do, love who you are, and just go with that, I guess.
Solid advice. You could always be a guidance counselor one day. That was
that was pretty good. I was a camp counselor. Was that good?
Were you a camp counselor? Where did you counsel?
I was a camp counselor at CYO camp up in Northern Canonia, in Guerneville, Occidental area, small town. I was a camp counselor for canoeing, camping, fireside songs, and lanyards, etc. One of those.
Did you hate your campers? Or did you hate your campers, or did you like them?
I love my campers.
Really?
Of course, I had my days.
You had your moments.
Of course, but that's only natural. I'm not so sure they like me, but I was a pretty wacky camp counselor. I love working with kids.
Do you have any stories?
Is there any stories? I miss camp. I really, really, really like going because I was never a camper, so I vicariously lived with the campers. It's always, I guess, it's really good prep to being a parent because I have to pretend like the stuff that the kids are doing that I know is wrong. I have to pretend like they're a bad thing. Like if kids are like throwing rocks and like playing with matches, I have to tell them that's bad because they're like tiny and that's like a terrible thing to do. You get in a lot of trouble. But when I was a kid, that was like the coolest thing to do, is to throw rocks and play with fire, because that's what you do when you're a kid, because it's awesome. But when you're at Camp Cuts, you're like, no, don't do that. That's bad. So this is gonna get me in trouble with parents, I'm sure. I don't condone little children throwing rocks and playing with fire. They're the worst people to do either of those things.
Did you feel any pressure when you were making a Harry Potter sequel to have it be?
Oh yeah, of course.
Really?
Yeah, definitely. Part of the charm of the first show is that we weren't trying to do anything. You know, we weren't trying to prove anything to anybody. Like I said, we were just having fun with our friends, and that was that. So when the sequel happened, we had expectations. It's really bizarre. So I did feel a lot of pressure to make the songs really special and to, you know, live up to what the fans, you know, would enjoy. To answer your question, if you haven't noticed, I'm a ranter, a ramble. So to answer your very simple question, yes, there was a lot of pressure, and I hope it works out. I hope people enjoyed it.
Okay, so now I have some fan questions. Okay. Are you ready for these?
Yes.
We'll start out with, what is your favorite color?
It depends. I like color combinations. I always wear my pink sunglasses. I love these. I think purple is a great color by itself because it's the color of creativity and Roman nobility. Not like I'm not a Roman noble, so that doesn't really apply to me, but creativity. I like orange and blue together, but I would never wear them. And I think green is great for the planet.
Right. If you could only, this is an extension of that question, if you could only see the world in shades of one color, which would you choose?
Pink. Because it would be really funny. Because then really mean people wouldn't look so mean.
That's good.
Yeah.
Alright, so okay, does Joey Richter have a girlfriend?
I have no idea, but even if I did, I would say yes, and her name is Tarantulas, and she's 9 feet tall and has 100 arms, and her eyes are made of lasers, and that if any girl tried to destroy her, they would perish. But that's just hypothetically what I would say if I knew his girlfriend's name was Tarantulas.
Alright, what does your songwriting process look like?
What's it look like? It looks like a mess. It looks like like somebody went into a room and took a dump and had like a blowtorch and then sprayed it all over the wall. You can scratch that. If my parents heard that, they'd say that's a terrible thing to say in an interview. But that doesn't change the fact that's what my songwriting process looks like. I don't know. It's tough. I mean, when you write music for musicals, there's a dramatic context, and you have sort of a lead-in as to what you're writing. Like, this song is for this person, this moment. There's a lot of ingredients that are kind of there for you, and you kind of just add water and kind of stir, and you really kind of can play with what's already given you. So it depends. Sometimes there's a phrase or some kind of adage or expression that you run with, and then, I mean, the songs that are toughest to write are the ones that I write for myself if I'm trying to express something. You're just really starting something from nothing. So it depends. Sometimes it starts with just a line, of dialogue or a lyric, and then you build upon that, or it starts with a riff. So it has a lot. Like I said, if you can't tell from my answer, it's a pretty chaotic mess, and it's stuff that's all over the place that I have to sort of glue together and piece together into some kind of, cohesive thing.
Wait, so you just released your debut album, right?
Yeah, a little EP of some songs that I've had over the years, that I just threw out because I think there was a lot of people were asking me about my own songs, and I wanted to deliver. And so a lot of the songs are very old. The song "Human" that is the title track of the EP. I mean, that was my very first song that I wrote. So, I just released that in sort of conjunction. I cheated. I released it the same week that we released our show. So I fooled people into buying that. They've been very good to me, and I'm very thankful. It's been a really cool, positive response, and it's going to be really excited about pursuing.
Plug your album in 3 sentences or less directly into the camera.
Into 3 sentences or less?
Yeah. Why should we buy it?
Okay. Buy the album because it's the kind of music you can be friends with.
Makes more sense. Is that all you're gonna go with?
And it's the only way that aliens won't come to Earth and destroy us. I'm sure of this. That's my third sentence, the I'm sure of this.
Alright. Do you want a career that's mostly music, or do you hope to keep going with acting, or making both?
I mean, ideally, I'd love to have my cake and eat it too. Ideally, I'd love to have a piece of cake right now and eat that. That'd be really ideal, but I don't have that. So, speaking metaphorically, I'd love to be able to do both. So, yeah, I mean, at this point, I've said this before to people that I don't have a whole lot of clout to kind of pick and choose. I'm working on that. You know, I would love to be. The cool thing about music is no one can take music away from you. You know, if you play the kazoo, no one's gonna be like, unless you're hanging with really terrible people, like take your kazoo and be like, you can't play that anymore. You can always play that by yourself in your room as an actor. You can, but it's not very cool to just kind of sit in your room and like do a scene with yourself. I mean, it's acting. You're at the whim of so many different people. You have to be the right look, the right everything, right. There's so many other components. Whereas music, you're like the master and commander of your own ship. So I think at this point in my career, I have a little more control over music, and I'd like to put a little more focus into that. Because it keeps me a little more sane as opposed to really kind of hitting the grindstone with acting. But you know, I'll take what comes, and I roll with it as it may. You know, if I get a role in something, that's wonderful, that's a blessing, and then I'm so grateful, and I'll definitely go with that. But in the meantime, I'm always writing music. So yeah, I guess I don't really have a preference, but I enjoy music because I just have more say in what the outcome is.
Have you been auditioning for any TV shows or films or anything like that lately?
Oh, tons of stuff. But yeah, I mean, I never really tell people what I audition for simply because it's not that cool unless you get it. So, but yes, I've been fortunate. I mean, I go out for a lot of things. It's weird seeing them on TV or seeing when they come out.
Yeah.
You're like, wow, I auditioned for that. This guy's way better, so it's okay.
All right. What is your favorite snack? We know that Ron or Joey likes red vines. What is your red vine, so to speak?
That's just a funny question. I don't know. I snack a lot on. I'm trying to think of something that if people were to like now be in a position to give me said product, I want to be able to have like a product that I really enjoy. I drink a lot of guava juice, which probably isn't the most healthy thing because it's a lot of sugar and it's really high in sodium, I think. But I drink a lot of guava juice. And I can only do it when I'm in San Francisco because they don't sell guava juice in a lot of places. So yeah, guava juice. That's a snack, right?
Fair enough.
Yeah.
What can we expect from you in the next 5 years?
Next 5 years, I will get older. I will have stuff. I don't know why I'm being so facetious. Ideally, I'd like to, in the next year, release a studio album. I'd love to be writing more shows with my company, with my friends, with Star Kid. Just pretty much continue what we're doing on a more, everything's happening very quickly for us, and we're trying to consolidate our bases and really focus in on what our next move is. And all the fans have been a real blessing, but we're trying to figure out, what the best way to make everything great would be. So I don't know. I would love to, like I said, a studio album. I'd like to be touring. I'd love to be touring around. It'd be nice if I had like I said, with acting, it's so unpredictable. So who knows? If I book, a TV show tomorrow, who knows how long I'll be on it? If I'm on it, very much. So I just hope to keep making things that people can relate to and enjoy in the same way that they have seemed to be with the Star Kid stuff. So I mean, that's probably the best thing about all this is that aside from people enjoying it, I think a lot of people connect with sort of ragtag, band of misfits. I think people relate to our shenanigans. So more of that in 5 years.
Awesome. Well, do you have any final messages or comments for your fans or for popculturemadness.com site visitors?
Yes, I do. I'm really sorry that this interview was so lousy. It's been a long day.
It was an excellent interview.
Yeah, I'm sorry if I look like an insane person. But it's a music festival. Everyone's a little crazy.
Some crazy people have been walking by.
I would say check out the Freelance Whales if you haven't already. My brother's album, Weather Vanes, is fantastic, and I'm so proud of him. And so please support them when they're on tour and buy their records and buy their merchandise and everything they do. And I don't know, be nice to people, because nobody likes an asshole.